Roger Christopherson here again. Today we're kind of celebrating the release of the anniversary of the Wasp album, The Last Command. Now, I had been planning on doing this one for a couple days because I saw that just a couple days ago it was the anniversary of The Last Command, released on October 25th back in 1985. And unfortunately, just a few minutes ago, as I was getting ready to do this, I saw the news that Steve Riley had passed away, and that is very unfortunate because he was actually on this album, and he played on a couple of the other Wasp albums, and as many of you know, he was in LA Guns for many years until they split and kind of separated into two different versions of LA Guns. I think he played on one of the Keel albums too, Right to Rock, if I'm not mistaken, but a few other things that he's played on, but so he's been around in the music scene for many years. Don't know what the circumstances were there, but just wanted to send my condolences out to the family and all the friends and people he knew throughout his life, and he's going to be missed. I actually liked the work he has done. I obviously never knew him, but I enjoyed this album, and that's kind of the reason we're here today, is to talk about this album, and also what I really wanted to do early, before I even realized that the anniversary of this album was out, was get the new Wasp box set, but it looks like that's only being released in LP form, no CD, and I really have no interest in buying the LP. That's just something I'm trying to get away from anymore. The collection was enormous, and I've actually been trying to work that down, so I don't want to add any more records to it. But I was kind of looking through what was on it, and I guess the benefit of that box set's going to be the half-speed master, if you're into that, and there's some bonus stuff on there, but I was looking through the bonus stuff, and I actually have all that bonus stuff. In fact, if you have any of the re-releases or any of the stuff, or bootlegs or anything, that stuff, everything listed on that bonus rarities has been released, and there's actually a lot more that wasn't listed on there that's been released, so I probably won't even end up getting it once it's released in CD form, if that ever happens. But anyway, Wasp is one of those bands I back in the day when everything, you got your news through magazines, they weren't playing this stuff on the radio around where I was at all, so I had read several articles, I would say, this band before I'd ever heard them, and I finally got the very first album. I got it, and I was all excited to listen to it, bought it on cassette, and I was not prepared for Blackie Lawless's vocals, but thought the music was pretty cool. And I know one of my best friends at the time, he was really into that first album. In fact, one of the earlier bands I was in, I ended up playing I Want to Be Somebody, and it was me singing that one, which was like not pretty at all. But anyway, so I've liked this band right from the start, but this particular album is actually probably, of the first three of the original, well, I guess there was a different drummer on the first one, but the first three, this is like my favorite one. I met Headless Cross, and from that point on, it kind of went in a different direction, changed their style a little bit, but the first three just kind of like, I don't even know how you describe it, but they had a very similar style to them, same kind of songwriting style. Came back to that a little bit in some later years, here and there, but the first three were all pretty much that same vein of music, and until, like I said, Headless Children. Anyway, so Wild Child was the kickoff, big video and everything for this album, and I think that was the next album where they switched. Okay, confusing my stuff here. I was thinking they had this is where Blackie switched to guitar, but that would be the Electric Circus where he did that. So this one he was playing bass on still, and doing the majority of the songwriting, but it's pretty much all that straight ahead forward stuff on the first side, because this is one of those albums where you had to flip the tape over, or the record over, and Ball Crusher, the track number 2 on here, is actually one of my favorite ones, and then of course Fistful of Diamonds and Jack Action were just kind of this cool, just straightforward rock songs, but Widowmaker was also another one of my favorites on that thing, or on that side. And one thing I noticed about, and I really liked about Blackie Lawless's singing and his melody writing, is he could just take he was really, I just thought it was like really cool. You could take just like a simple chord, hold it out, and come up with a cool melody just over one chord. And I know that's not like any big deal. A lot of people can do that, but back when I was first listening to stuff, there weren't a whole lot of bands that were just holding the notes out, like the chords, just let them ring, and then there'd be a cool riff that kind of tying the whole song together. It was a little bit different style than a lot of the other bands at this point in time were doing. And of course, after this, other people tried to copy, but of course, he still had Chris Holmes in the band at this point in time, and his song or his lead playing style was, very closely interwoven with, Blackie's singing style, and they just had like this unique sound that I think was all theirs. And of course, side 2 opens with Blind in Texas, which was like always a big, huge concert favorite. I'm probably still playing that one live. I know I've seen some recent live stuff, and that one pops up every now and then on the recommended list. Cries in the Night was kind of cool, a little bit slower song. They always kind of throw one of those in there. And then The Last Command is actually, I don't know, The Last Command and Running Wild in the Streets, close tie for my favorites on that second side. Actually, I think Running Wild in the Streets might, edge it out just a little bit, but and then ends with a song called Sex Drive, which is pretty much straightforward rock song. Probably my least favorite one on the whole album, quite honestly. But overall, this is the one that I usually go back to the most of the first 3. I really like, from that point on, they, like I said, the Headless Children, which that album, I can't even tell you how many times I played that thing. Probably my favorite Wasp album ever released is Headless Children, but then anyway, this of the first 3, I would say this is the one that really I was drawn to the most. So I just saw that that it was a few things here tying this all together this week. The release of the box set, the anniversary, and unfortunately, like I said, the passing of Steve Riley, which I didn't know about until I actually just went to do this. But I just figured that it was the right time to, talk about Wasp. I don't think I've ever talked about these guys on anything, and just cool band that, they get a lot of flack lately because Blackie's been using some backup tapes and stuff like that. But I don't know. I'm not going to get into that whole can of worms right now. But I just wanted to just talk about this album. That's what it's always about, us talking about the music, keeping it alive. I know I say that a lot, but that's really kind of like the reason I started doing all this, is to talk about albums that maybe I thought people never paid enough attention to, or maybe we've forgotten about. And this is just one of the ones that I was reminded about here earlier this week, and thought I'd just shoot the crap about it. So anyway, talk to you guys later. As always, like, share, subscribe, and all that fun stuff, and comment any fun Wasp stories you want to down below. And I don't know, see you on the next one. See you.